Thanks for finishing that.
I feel bad. It feels like we've just. I know you've sat there like that's where you want to sit, but it makes it because you're confident. It makes you feel like we just shoved her in the corner. Are you okay? Do you want some water?
No, I'm okay. I have a 7 up there.
Okay.
It does kind of feel as it's like, and here is the social distance corner.
At one point, can we just get the blanket and just put it?
This is like me.
They were assigning a driver.
Hey.
That's very early. The driver's just going to be sitting in the place for ages.
Yeah.
Right. So, back in the room.
Back in the room.
Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Finally on the Record.
Holy shit!
Oh my god, is it you trying to be professional?
This never happens. Look at
Oh my
that.
god! Oh my god, I feel like we railroaded it. Oh no! This
Oh
has
no,
never
that's
happened
terrible.
before!
Do you want to know why? Because I don't do the intros. You always do the intros.
Yes.
So,
I don't like the way you're talking to him when technically it's me.
I know.
I railroad in. I make sure I get in.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah.
Take from that what you will. But
I think they know exactly how they're going to take it now. Anyway, sorry, you were saying.
up somewhere. And
I'd say you're digging a hole, but
There's
you
a
know
reason
exactly
why
what you're doing,
you
yeah.
just can't see it. He's actually sitting on a donut.
shut up. They're not supposed to know that. That's one of the secrets of wrestling. They're not supposed to know.
Anyway, sorry.
Every time you subscribe to the channel, his love egg vibrates. That's how it goes. Oh, look, there's another one.
So does mine. That's all I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say. Anyway, sorry. You were being
Before
professional.
you collapsed the other recording.
That was all the power of Joseph Jensen. I
Yeah.
didn't even need an egg. I can't watch that back over. It's too embarrassing.
Imagine if you could just focus that all into one little fucking like bing.
Oh,
There you go.
Yeah.
You're
be
Just-
maze balls.
a proper concentrated like shot.
We all know what Foxy would do if he was an X-Men. Oh my god, my power is telekinesis. Okay.
I am.
No.
I am the ejaculator.
Well, this took a turn.
This is it.
Okay, now we know what fucking Jonathan's fucking got.
I just did it as a click of the fingers.
Sorry. Look, we've.
Should we do you want to do the intro again?
No, I really.
Because I actually
No.
quite liked his intro.
No, we're fucking keeping
Yeah,
that
okay.
in.
Let's keep that in? Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, welcome to another episode of Finally on the Record. And as you may have gathered, I am hosting this episode, which I haven't done so since it's our first
Very
episode.
First one, yes.
Yeah.
So, it's been a while.
We've all had one go at each.
Uh,
We've all had one go at it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Except for Dennis, because he wasn't here.
Yes. Well, in fairness, he did give his.
gave a topic.
He gave his prompt in absentia.
He did.
So, yeah.
Yes. But
So
he
that-
wasn't
that-
physically here.
That technically counts.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Foxy.
yeah. So this episode, I just thought it'd be something. I had a few topics in mind, completely forgot about them, and now I'm on the spot and I'm trying to remember what I
This is
actually
why I
talked
write
about.
everything down in my notes app on my phone.
Your notes app, yeah. But like, great gimmick.
You should use that. You should use that gimmick. It'll go over, buddy. It'll go over.
Don't makes it one.
I think it got over very well like a couple of years ago.
Technically, I did actually post one.
Yeah.
So it's not even a thing. So yeah, it did go over.
But no, I thought for this episode, I thought that maybe we would talk about the topic I wanted to do.
This sounds like it's
Can't
going
do.
to be fucking traumatic for all of us. The way you just went the sigh out.
Just took a dark turn. No, I thought it'd be fun because like everyone has probably experienced that at different times. It's not dark, Tom, when you stop. You keep thinking.
I'm still allowed to be scared.
Yeah, you can be scared of
Because
it.
I unfortunately have a story for every goddamn topic.
Yeah, well, we
Me
could
too.
see. We could realistically, we could actually
I told
do an
you that in
episode
confidence.
just on Amy's topics
Which
alone.
one?
Like,
All of them.
but for this one, I thought it'd be good to talk about misconceptions that we all believed as a kid.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah, stuff that like we were led to believe is real or That's how you do
Okay,
things.
are we going down like with every rumor sort of thing that like spreads across the playground?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Everything.
Marilyn Manson removing his rib so he could blow himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's.
I still believe it.
So there's your examples anyway. Like so,
Yeah.
take from that what you will.
Okay.
But like personal stories or stories you know of.
Yeah.
How
Okay.
about the? So
All right.
I have
who
a
wants
few.
to start us
I have
off?
a few.
You have a few.
Right.
So if you have a few, you kick us off with one.
Yeah.
Then
And we'll go around the table.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
ready for this?
why was it when you were younger, and I don't know, every fucking parent does this, what the fuck's the big deal with turning the light on in the backseat? That you're going to
Yeah.
crash the car was one of the things, but also my dad literally led me to, and my dad was a guard, so this is why we fully believed it. It was against the law to have a light on in the car at night.
Legitimately, or is this like just?
This is what my dad had told me, and I had believed it forever, but now as I'm older, I would do it. Dad never says a fucking word about it. So it is in my mind thinking, motherfucker was literally just lying to me, or it's just so we wouldn't have the light on. And I think it's just because he didn't want, like...
It can be a bitch sometimes to drive with the light on.
Trust me
Around
though,
dark.
but
Or the
this
sudden jolt of the light, I imagine.
But like this isn't even us like doing it, just not telling them. This is us being like, I'm going to read in the car and turning on the little side lights that are in the back seat specifically so you can read in the fucking car.
I can't do that. Like I get motion sickness.
Oh well.
I really do. Like it's weird.
No, but like this is what I mean. Like in one of his, this is like an old Volvo that he had, and he was literally in the back seats of the cars, just at the Jesus handle, right? You could literally turn on the two little lights, and you were able to read in the car at night time. And we'd have to give as we're older, we never gave a warning when we were older. We would just turn it on, not a bother on the man.
Yeah.
Never had an issue with it. But when we were younger, stop it! It's against law. You're gonna get me arrested. And yeah, I just never understood that. And I believed it was going to get my dad arrested.
Yeah.
And that sometimes we would do it when we saw guarded cars driving by just to see.
My chime in would be like, you're part of the guards. You can get away with this, I'm sure.
That's why we would do it when we saw guarded
So you
cars.
test the theory, like, yeah.
Motherfucker has been stopped so many times for speeding. Never once got a ticket. Because he used to just flash the badge. Granted, not anymore. But like, back in early 90s and late 90s, guards got away with murder. And an awful lot of them actually have been in court because of murders. So,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, the lights, turning on the light in the car at night time when you were a child was an arrestable offence. And I believed that. Right up until I was a teenager.
The fact that you're just purposely like, oh yeah, just to test the theory.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're not testing the theory now. Now it's like literally as like we'd need to find something in the bag if we were coming home from swords, if we were coming home from somewhere
Yeah.
and you're like, shit, I need to try and find the house key. So you turn on the light and you're looking through your handbag, and he wouldn't ever say a word about it. So at that point I started to make me think, oh, I'm a fucking idiot for believing that. But yeah, that was mine.
Right.
That was one of mine.
Okay.
What about yourself, John?
From working back from childhood, now this is something I didn't take part in myself, and I think I'm probably have mentioned this already in and on the record because it's recent in my memory, but the idea of what's called the American Dream, well, that's how we call it, but other people call it the Indian Summer and all these other things. It basically what happens if you like kind of give your brain a lot of oxygen and then just suddenly stop. And you pass out, and then you describe what hallucination you had in.
I was thinking of something else
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah, no.
And I was like,
Yeah. No, this is
you've
what
gotten very political here.
it feels like every kind of like group of kids had a different name for the same kind of like
It comes
thing.
back.
We
Every
did
couple
talk
years
about
as well.
this.
Yes.
We did talk about this before, and I actually never heard it before. I've
Yeah.
never heard of this.
It comes back onto the playground every couple of years.
Yes.
The schools stamp it out, and then it comes back.
Yeah. So is
So
this
it might
something
have
that
been in a
TikTok?
year. TikTok did bring
Yeah.
it back again, but it was going around when I was in.
Because I'll be
in
honest with
primary.
you, no one I've ever come across.
Yeah.
Sorry, you two have ever heard of this.
But I think it's because it skips a couple of years.
Yeah.
So like it could like you might not have seen it, but me and Kira have, and it is literally a circular thing where
I
like
must ask Abby if she's ever seen this.
Yeah.
'Cause she's-
Yeah.
because I say it is those kind of things that like kids do just as a trend.
Yeah.
And then like what will stop people is they'll hear a rumor that someone died from it.
Yeah.
Do you know actually
Or
what
somebody
leads you
actually
to
did.
adulthood?
Yes.
It actually gives you an asphyxiation kink.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But that's the thing. It is that it's that kind of weird like everyone had to do it once weird type of idea, and they all describe the dreams.
Right on the
But like
Jerry Saul would know so much about that, wouldn't
wow. Hello, Pandora's box. Let's have a look in, shall we? What the fuck? Like,
he? Sorry, didn't Humperdinck like die from something?
Oh yes, sorry, yes.
Fucking hell! I
You
thought
don't
you
have it
were
on
That's
catching
because
like.
you said Jerry so.
You did say
Yeah,
yeah.
you didn't say humbling. That's why I was like, I never did that with Jerry.
We have different
That now
exercises.
opens another fucking box.
Me and Jerry have a different kink that you've all witnessed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's grand.
Mm.
That you don't need to put a cut there.
I was just giving a demonstration.
That's 5 points. There
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, like that's the one that came to mind initially. Was that like again it's a pure misconception. Like it's purely the fact that like everyone heard the same urban legend at the same time, and then but it didn't stop them, and then suddenly everyone just went, I have my one.
How
That's
old
it.
were you started eating the seeds and fruits?
Ooh. Oh, the one was just like, oh, it'll grow inside you. It's like, what?
Like don't eat.
Shit, that is.
Don't eat the apple seeds or don't eat a watermelon seed
Yeah.
unless it will grow inside you. And it's like as you get older and you realise, wow, I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
For ever believing that and chewing gum.
That takes
Yeah.
7 years to digest.
Takes 7 years to
and it wraps around
digest.
your ribs.
Mm.
Your heart. I was the heart. It was like it will get its way. It will basically like clot your thing or it will get stuck in your lungs.
That was
That was
totally
like
got
I was
stuck
like-
in your stomach like that. That's where I got
It
trapped.
was like
Yeah.
it was like if you swallow chewing gum, your body will know it's not food, but it will send it straight to your lung and it will harden in your lung.
Yeah, I heard that one too. Like it
You-
fucks with your
That's-
breathing. It's just like
Yeah, and it's
I
like-
grew up with bronchitis. My breathing was fucking an early start.
It's like-
Everyone
like-
always had different versions of
That's
it.
the thing is, I was just like, and then I remember one time I was thinking when I was a kid, and I was like laughing, and I kind of like had chewing in my mouth, and it inhaled, and I was like, oh my god, it's gonna go into. And at that point, because I inhaled it and it went down the wrong pipe, I started thinking, shit, it's true, it's gone right into my lungs. My mom's like, don't be fucking stupid. And at that point, I was like, what else have you told me? That's a lie.
Mm.
You
The one that came
lied to
to my mind was that we swallow spiders when we sleep. We
Oh, I
do
believed that for years as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that creeped me out.
8 spiders.
For
It's like
years.
the average human will swallow 8 spiders in
Yeah.
in like a year or something.
In their sleep, so like
In
the
their sleep.
hypothetical is like say like a house spider or like
Okay, clearly
something like
Foxy has never heard this before.
Yeah.
It's an urban legend.
It's an urban
not
legend,
true.
yeah.
Spider, look at it this way: the conditions inside a human mouth
Yeah.
is something that a spider would never want to be near.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's far too acidic and like they die of actually of no oxygen. Funny enough.
Although I have seen an awful lot of spider near things,
Near.
like actually spider like getting trapped in the air. I was watching like
Yeah.
literally.
Oh, yeah.
That one.
That's because your ear is warm.
Yeah, like,
Yes.
that's the
Yes.
only. That's the only.
Yeah.
That's why anytime
Yeah,
there's a
BB.
spider. That's why anytime when you
Seen
are on like
videos
the
of it.
calls with me and there's a spider arm, I'm like it needs to be gone because I do have the fear
They'll
of
go
it
into
going
your-
into my
yeah.
ear.
That's fair. Yeah.
Like it's a
yeah.
very
But that's down to the
obscure fear I think to have, but it is just something. I think it's just because I have a fear.
Well, no,
of
it's an
spiders
offshoot of the
anywhere.
phobia.
No,
So like
Yeah.
Not even that, especially if you've seen videos of spiders being removed
Yeah, it's
from
like
fucking
it
someone's
sticks
ear.
with you. It does
It's like,
stick in. You.
Fuck
Like
that.
you'd be watching
Yeah.
anytime, but it's the funniest thing is ever is if I'm watching I'm a Celebrity, for example, with Jill, and she was getting the cockroach taken out of her ear. Not a bother on me. If it was a spider, however, I'd have serious issues.
Mm.
Like, just
No.
no. Like, any, like, kind
Why
of
did I
creepy
get a
crawly,
just
like, just...
amputation?
Is it?
That's like just get dinner delivered to your door.
As a girl, like, be told as well that if you start shaving your legs, it'll grow back thicker.
What the yeah? Like,
Yeah,
what the
it's
fuck is
because my
that?
mum didn't want me shaving at such a young age.
Yeah,
they
she-
don't
obviously
want to give you a
same
razor, but instead of being like, "Nah, you're too young," it was
It's like
"Nah,
no, it will grow back.
no,
It will grow back
backwards."
really, really thick and really coarse, and you'll never be able to get rid of it.
Actually, that's another one. Even on the men's side,
Yeah.
this was a joke in college. Like so, one guy who I won't name him, but
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do.
That's why I had an issue with this. That was my massive issue with it.
It's okay.
I knew whoever was going to be sitting, it's like they're going to be leaning forward.
That's fair. There's one guy in college who used to like now. Well, shall we say he was having a sexual awakening in college because he was very clearly coming from a repressed
I wasn't
household.
involved.
No.
Foxy looked
This is a
at it.
bloke. This is a bloke who legit discovered porn for the first time in college, because he'd come from a Muslim house, right? So he was basically discovering all of this for the first time.
That's an entire sub category.
Yeah, right. So like this. Oh yeah, no. I'm only taking an example of this, right?
A
But
whole
he
new
world. But he was saying, but he was joking, right? That
Swallow.
because
I
he was clearly told by his parents that like touching yourself and masturbation makes you go bald.
Yes.
It doesn't.
Are you sure?
I tried, yeah.
Believe me.
I love the end. I've tried.
Yeah, I've tried. I've experimented. Yeah.
Believe
No.
me.
Yeah.
We've done it for years.
Yeah. But legit, like, he purported that as if it was fact, and just like, mate, I know you're in your mid-20s, but I'm going to have to sit you down here and just let you know about this.
Asking the two of you, did you ever believe hair would grow in your palm if you touch yourself?
No,
I
definitely
always thought
not.
that would happen if you were crazy.
Yes.
No, I was
If
always.
you were crazy, hair would... No, my brothers were told if you touch yourselves, hair will grow in your hand, and they'll know you have been doing it. That was my granny who told that to them.
Or is that,
She
is
was
that the black
terrified.
lie in the tongue type of shit, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I do that to Noah all the
No,
time.
I
I
was
still
told
tell
I'd go
Noah that.
blind if I was to do it.
Yeah, that as
If you
well.
do too much.
Yeah.
Well.
Have you had the glasses?
You had one terrible accident one day. You found a naughty magazine.
But no, like with the whole I could kind of believe like the blindness because like if someone is constantly doing it, like the blood flow is going somewhere, so like you're kind of
Do you
wrong
know-
yourself.
A misconception that I had that actually turned out to be true in a sense, if I can give you one of those,
Mhm.
is that I was a person I was dating. He was like, "Well, orgasm will get rid of your headache, so stop telling me that you have a migraine or that you have a headache because an orgasm will help it." And I always thought it was bullshit. I was like, "It's just he just wants to get his dick wet, sort of thing."
Yeah.
It's a release.
And then what happened
Yeah.
was, it was like I decided I actually had a really whopper of a headache one night that was like, it's gonna turn into a migraine if I don't try and do something now. Painkillers weren't working, so I said, fuck it, and I got my vibrator and I was like, fuck, bastard was right the entire time.
I found that like it's
Or at least it worked for me, sort of thing. I'm not gonna say that worked for everyone, but like
Everyone's
for me,
physiology is different, yeah.
yeah.
everyone has different experiences with it, but like for me, like if I feel even the makings of it, like then I've a high sex drive, so basically like then if I even get like a sudden urge, I have to go and relieve myself because
I'm
otherwise
never gonna trust Foxy. Nobody goes for a piss break.
I'm not that bad. Fucking hell. But like oh shit!
I like that we just made it sound like a kind of like a reconstruction, like Mr. Simpson, no!
Well, your dad was in bed, but I just didn't believe you. No!
Now drop and give me 20.
Better.
Sorry.
But anyway, no, like I've a high sex drive, so in order to kind of like counteract that, I have to relieve myself every now and then, and it's no because it.
What's the story of floor stick?
So, I imagine girls will have like some girls will probably have something to the equivalent, but like
Oh my god, I do it when I'm logged out. Hi.
Yeah, no.
Hi. I had a free gaff one day. I was working. I was logged in to work. Thank God for working from home. And my mom and dad like were going golfing. I was like, okay, cool, bye. I was like, they're gonna be gone for 2 hours. So I went, I'm just gonna go upstairs and masturbate. And that's literally what I did. I sent a message into work, been like, oh, the internet's gone. I went up to my bedroom for 2.5 hours.
so this is where you're gonna splice something in because it's
Oh,
literally
dear.
gonna be a cut to just well, a wank, says I.
It was very British sex. Almost. There we are. Lovely.
But,
Let
well
me just
done.
get the turtle.
But it's like what's his name, fucking Alan Partridge or whoever it is.
Oh,
Yes.
Steve
Just
Coogan.
like 30 seconds into it, like right,
Oh,
I'll go wank.
yeah.
Boom. Then I
Oh.
insert that. There you go. But yeah, like dunno. I imagine for guys it's weird because like some guys will have zero to do with like anything to do with sex, but like other guys just it's almost like fucking constant. Like
That is actually a really good. I think that's a really good kind of misconception that's both true and false. I think it's what men think of sex. I think like 30 on average 30 times a day, whereas women don't. And I'm like bollocks. Women think about it just as much as men do. We're
Yeah,
just
I'd say
better
so.
hiding it.
Mm.
but
Like it's not
Yeah.
everyone, but it's again, it isn't like an overall, like it wouldn't be everyone in the world. Like you will find some lads that are literally just constantly just sex on the brain. They see a fucking baguette in Dunnes stores and they think it's sex. Like
I fucking spliced jizz in my pants there.
Like, but that's it is. It's like literally like the song "Jizz in My Pants" sort of thing. It's like a cool
breeze rolls in.
Like they're literally sitting on a train that's rocking just right. Yeah, there's a boner there. That happens to girls as well. If that train is rocking night and you get enough friction on your legs, you're literally just like, fucking anyway, I'm soaking. Like that's where you're at.
How awkward it is for a young boy like in school, like secondary school, because like they discover like
it just
puberty
happens,
and it's just
honest to God that you
in
have
the fucking like the school
it
school pants.
Yeah,
so you're basically like just looking.
You're
just looking for a way to hide.
It's when was your first geography? That's terrible. When was your first
history?
CSPE?
Well, I think it is
There's actually a musical. In it, there's a song about that situation of the jumper, of putting the suit jacket, the flap.
Who wants to come up and write that on the board? No, you're good.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I've had to your whole balance is fucked up.
I've done that once before. I've actually like just trying to adjust enough to like walk up. It's like constantly turned away,
tucking it into the belt.
No, Fox, is there any reason you're walking like a fucking space invader?
The thing is, like, at least
no. If you try to do that, like you're gonna rip.
Is it a sense of views have been like, what have you seen? Is it a pretty girl, or have you just like?
If you have a hot fucking teacher, right? It's very difficult.
Whereas with a girl, you'd be sitting there and you're like, "Has my period started? Am I horny? Am I hungry? Am I angry? Have I wet myself? I'm horny. I might be hungry."
All of the above.
And it is literally all. It will be
so
all
a roulette
of the
wheel.
above. It literally will be all of the above, except possibly might have pissed myself, unless you've had a shit ton to drink and you actually cannot remember if you went to the toilet or not. But it's like it's just one of those things where you're just like, why have you opened the floodgates? Like what have you seen? And then it is literally like...
What's that, Timmy? Is there someone who's done well?
It is literally... I might walk... And what it is I might have walked through Marks and Spencer's, went through the bakery aisle, and they have the new fresh cookies out, and I'm just like, oh, that legit apparently makes me horny. Oh my God, I haven't had a Marks and Spencer's cookie in so long.
What?
Because you can't.
Yeah.
Because it would ruin your memory of it.
No, I could eat one at home, and then I could just get sick afterwards.
No.
It'd be worth it.
No.
One of the weird ones, like...
why are you all going to take my happiness away from me?
Because we want to protect that memory for you.
Yes. I can just replace
those,
vomiting.
Keep those rose-tinted glasses there.
Yes, exactly.
Although it's Marks and Sparks, they'll probably get a gluten-free version of it soon.
Yeah.
They do actually do some gluten-free cookies in a sense, and they're not as nice, but they're quite nice. So I mean, it's a trade-off.
It's something, yeah.
I smell the baked goods and I eat the shit one. So like.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were saying?
Yeah, you kind of caught me off there, so let's throw them off.
How about your misconceptions, Foxy? Because I think we go back around to you now and
like the fact that the number 3 exists.
Yeah, for referee, like the tree actually exists. Just the shame it wasn't me being like getting the tree. I lost.
Why does it sound like a euphemism? It's like, I never got a tree. It's like, whoa, dude,
like
TM fucking I. Like,
half. Oh. Jay didn't give the tree either.
No, half. Oh. Hide behind a rock.
Hold on, you missed one. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Stand up, do the action. Half.
Oh.
Swivel. Hide behind a rock.
I forgot about the swivel.
I literally only watched it 2 days ago.
Yeah. That's something they use.
Kevin Smith, Even Harder, Disc 1, Canada. Toronto.
Brilliant.
Excellent. Yeah, so we're back to you. What was your major misconception? Or one of your misconceptions?
One of my misconceptions. So I kind of had a sheltered like lifestyle. Like I wasn't allowed out much, so basically I was gullible.
Explains the high sex drive.
It does bring the sex drive.
I was sexually repressed as a kid, yeah. But like, I fucked
You
up.
made up for a sense, you know. You're catching up now.
Actually, before this is sorry because it's going to take time, so I need to get this one out very, very quickly. You might have heard of this rumor as well. Is there porn in the woods? As an adult, I need this confirmed. Yes or no? Is there porn in the woods?
Depends who you ask.
Oh! Damn it!
What?
You never heard this?
No!
Oh my god,
yeah,
this is like
actually,
a long-standing like I'm gonna say
it's
a
bullshit.
a long-standing bullshit story,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
Is that a bloke's first time of ever like coming in contact with sexual world is when they find a playboy hidden in the woods.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And it was always the same thing. It's like grouped like two lads and it's like, yeah, I know my first sexual experience. It was like, or I found out like what tits and what a vagina looked like. I found an old playboy just hidden in the woods.
It's funny you say that because
it's a very American.
It's a very American thing. It's a complete like kind of trope in that sense because we were playing a game called if you play the game Snake Eater, which is from Metal Gear Solid. It's in the jungles, right? So there's a lot of forestry areas. You can find a magazine, which is also like a porn magazine. The whole idea is like it's basically just to distract the soldier, and you can fucking take him out basically.
My favorite thing about this is when I asked the question, both of you knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
In a sense, where it's like here's
It's just
like,
such a
what?
daft. It's just a daft idea.
It's so ridiculous, but it's like because I saw it on so many American TV shows that it was always I'm like.
Did it come from a movie or something? Like it must have come from something.
I can't remember, but it was.
Something. I know exactly where you were coming from. I was trying to remember what it was.
I don't even know where I first saw it
Yeah.
myself, but I've seen it referenced in so many drama or comedies.
It definitely
shows,
has an origin, but I don't know where.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like the Marilyn Manson thing.
Yeah.
You don't know where the origin is, just everyone knows.
So
it.
my first like actual like introduction to like anything like either porn or like porn mag or anything like that is actually because a friend of mine had, remember those gigantic CD wallets?
Yeah.
He would have it with games, but hidden near the end should be one or two fucking porn. And just like he's just like, there we go, just threw that on. It's like, what the fuck is this?
We're gonna see an internal cavity search.
It's just and it'll always be the fucking weirdest fucking thing ever. You're wondering how the fuck they got it.
Foxy just looking at us going, this doesn't look like Spire the Dragon.
Oh my god, what's she doing with that dog? Hello.
Oh, that's what they mean by Tomb Raider. Ah. Wait, I still don't get it.
The pizza man truly loves the babysitter. Once he keeps slipping.
5 points.
Great. Now he's got a boner. Well, this is what you guys do all day. Sit around with an angel and watch porn. We're not supposed to talk about it. It's the greatest thing of all time.
Yeah, kind of like when growing, like apart from the first experience of like porn, some of the misconceptions that I was told is like the chewing gum, like fucking the lights, like fucking if you do that, like then or if you cross your eyes, then they're gonna get.
And the wind changes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Or if you cross your eyes and someone hits you, like
Saps
the things like that, like.
Or sitting too close to the TV.
Yeah.
Square.
You go blind, like fucking.
Well, one I really wish I listened to was "Don't Stand So Close to the Speakers."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really wish I listened to that one because honestly, God, I could do without the that I've lived with since the age of like
Fucking
17.
tinnitus.
I had to accompany my dad when he was doing like gigs and pubs for about 5 to 6 years, and my position was right like underneath the speaker. But again, with the beauty of how the kind of speaker was, like if I just kind of had like stood underneath the speaker, you didn't get as much of the buzzing.
Like,
but
you could feel it.
Yeah. Oh, the bang, like
Just like vibrating through the floors.
Well, legit, the fucking like every Friday night, just anyone just like a buzz after either working or being in college is like, I hate this. I really hate this.
I hate when I was told that nicotine wasn't addictive. And I believed it. Yeah.
or there's
Sorry, when you're 14 years of age and all you can think about is I just want to get smokes and a nagging. And then like as soon as that cigarette gets pot, you won't get addicted to it, you're grand. Don't worry about it, you're grand. And then I realised, oh shit. You're 19 years of age buying a pack of cigarettes been like, they gone up how much?
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Well, that's a misconception in of itself because like the nicotine is always kind of attributed. People think like, oh, you're like the nicotine doing damage to your body.
It's not the nicotine.
It's not the nicotine at all.
The nicotine is not doing anything. It's the formaldehyde, the pesticides,
carbon monoxide, and tar.
That's what's doing the damage here. Thank you very much. Leave my nicotine alone.
Like that's a very common misconception.
That's why nicotine is constantly being put into the vapes and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's a more pure hit though. That's why.
Yeah, it is actually. It's clean. It does feel. It actually feels cleaner. But when I was in Tenerife, actually, I was doing the 0%. Just to see. I was curious. I just wanted to kind of just to see if it had the same effect on it. And it was like, it doesn't have the same effect. And I was like, yeah, I know I'm not getting, because it just tastes pure fruit, sort of thing. Yeah. I was like, there's a slight bitterness missing from this. But like, my mom was really happy. She goes, at least I know you're not actually consuming nicotine on this holiday. I was like, as soon as she leaves the room, I was on the balcony. On my actual vape.
You had like a smoke box.
On my actual vape. Like.
Okay, 4 points just for the fucking visual references.
YouTube, if you are benefiting to us, you will make that the thumbnail. You will make that the thumbnail for us.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll show you my boobs.
And you'll also make that the
say
thumbnail.
to Jerry, hon.
Yeah.
That is not a misconception though, because when I do show my tits to Jerry, I do get what I want. Fair, actually, if I show my tits to most people, most men, I get what I want.
I was gonna say
Not
like.
some women. Just me.
Ali is really swayed by my boobs, and I don't know why.
They go side to side.
Depends on what I'm wearing, I
Yeah.
guess. Hip hip to hip, cheek cheek. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, who else has a misconception? You? Do you think?
That's one of the ones I can think of off the bat.
I did actually have one for a long time. So you can't really quite see it under the beard, but I actually have a mole, like a melanoma spot here, just under on my lip here. So kind of like that kind of like traditional kind of beauty spot position. So it's just, you probably can't see it just there.
Alright, Marilyn.
Yeah. It's the Marilyn. It's exactly where
Insert
Monroe has
clip
it.
from Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Money.
But it is right there, right? So I've had it since I was 11 or 12, and it's like it was very, very obvious, right? Now the trouble I had was I was really, really paranoid about it, because I knew of something called melanoma and I knew of something called skin cancer, but without actually connecting the dots for myself. So for the longest time, my kind of idea was that, okay, I'll be able to cover up this very dangerous spot, because clearly if I burst it, it's just going to spread, like, I don't know, fucking just black tar all over my face and I'm diseased forever type of idea. That was it when I was younger, so I was like, oh good, I'm dying because I've got a mole. It's like, no, calm the fuck down. Like, I had to mix a lot of hypochondria when I was younger. You know.
Actually, that opens up to a really, really good misconception that I think a lot of people have had and still have, and it's because of Hollywood that people have it. Someone with a disfigurement is an evil person.
Yeah.
Or is a bad
Yes,
person.
very true. Actually,
and it's like,
yes.
And I think that's one of those
that's
things.
a Bond villain trope, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every Bond villain has to have a disfigurement of some
It's
kind.
also
There's a scar.
from silent movies.
Silent movies too, yeah.
And it was literally, it is like, that's actually one of the biggest misconceptions. And I'm not gonna lie, I did actually kind of, as when you're younger, you do fall into that. You're just like, because if someone does look a bit different, you are generally going to be a bit scared off by it, sort of thing. And I think it's as you kind of get over it, and as you're educated and stuff, and you realise, well, I was a fucking idiot for always crossing the road at that person that had the slightly clouded eye. Now, I'm going to blame Edgar Allan Poe on that one.
Yeah, like a glassy eye or something
I'm
like
going
that.
to blame the Telltale Heart for fucking me over on that one. Like with the vulture eye sort of thing. But yeah, I think that's a massive misconception, is that if you have a disfigurement, you're an evil person, and that's purely Hollywood.
You have like some sort of villain arc or some kind of like shit like that.
I mean, I don't have the disfigurement, but I know for a fact I've got a villain arc. I've gone through like 4 of them. But none of them have stuck.
No.
Yet.
Another one would be cracking your fingers.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's
very common one. Yeah. No, never does.
It does not.
No.
You're literally, we're just releasing air.
Yeah, that's it.
And it makes me feel very happy.
Yes,
Ew.
satisfaction from it.
Oh yeah.
Neck.
No, I can't. I hate that people are able to do that and I can't.
Just did it there.
I would like to crack my back, but I can't. I don't have something to actually.
Lean against.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, when you did that
getting
watching
the
for the
backcracker.
Lewis, like waiting for the Lewis, and you just went click, and I went, I'm so jealous of that.
I'm able to do it on my own back if I'm sitting on a really kind of square seat. It just goes click. It's like,
Oh, the fella I used to work with, he used to be able to do it. So when you do the crossover.
Oh yeah.
That makes me
The
orgasm.
best version of that is literally like, so Sky Davis, like, he actually like did it to someone, and I was like,
told me about this, yeah.
yeah, but like he said it, it's like, do you want me to crack your bag? Yeah, it's like, just lifts me up because he's freakishly strong as well.
Yeah.
So lifts me up. It's like, oh, that's brilliant. Do you want me to crack your shoulders? Fuck yeah! like straight away, he's just like hook, boom. I'm like, that's amazing.
I feel like every single one of us is actually that Rottweiler in the doggy chiropractor video.
Yes.
When he's getting his neck cracked.
Yes.
And he's like,
What the fuck is going on?
As if
This is what life is meant to be like.
yeah.
oh my god, I feel alive.
I can look up.
Oh, that's gas. I love that
Like
video.
the old Cornell trilogy. It's like,
Yes.
dogs can look up. It's like, bullshit. It's like, yes they can.
We're still waiting on a driver. Just FYI.
Cool.
So they won't start making it until they've got a driver's signed.
Yeah.
Pee-pee.
Oh.
Wait.
What else?
Actually, if we're going for when you're playing games, video games as a kid, the misconceptions is very common as well because rumors and urban legends just go fucking mental. Like the best one has to be finding Mew in the original Pokemon games.
That went on for years before people actually.
Absolute years, and then Nintendo leaned into it then.
Yeah.
For years
Of course,
on top of that.
It's a marketing ploy.
Yeah. But it's purely that urban legend kind of like rumor mill because if you're not familiar with it, right? So if you're playing the original Pokemon games, Red, Blue, not Yellow, because they fixed it in Yellow.
Yeah, they fixed it.
They fixed it in Yellow. That's how the urban legend
Red,
says
Blue,
it.
and Green.
And green if you're in Japan, yeah. So, did you puff?
Oh, that's adorable. Yeah. Is that the actual like freaking official release?
It's not official release. No, that was an Etsy find. That was custom made.
Because like.
Looks good, doesn't it?
I know they're dabbling in jewelry as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's like, shit.
This is
Nice.
So that one was one, right? So if you're not familiar, you're playing Red and Blue. So you might recall there is the SSN that's there, right? And essentially the way it works is the SSN doesn't leave until you basically get
get your pass. You take it.
You get your pass. You get in the SSN. You get the HMO1, which is cut, because then you need cut to get to the gym, right? So that's the actual scripted flag. Now, of course, there's water around the place, so you think you might be able to surf around, but it just by nature of the game, once the SSN is gone, you can't go back to that area at all, right? But if you find a way to basically get surf before you go onto the SSN, there is a way around it. Basically, there is a theoretical way around it. And what you'll see is, when you go into the surf, there is actually a truck model that's left in the code that they never use. So this part is genuine. There is a truck there.
Yeah.
But the urban legend was that if you look at the back of the truck, underneath it, you'll find Mew at level 5, and you can catch it. But of course, the only way you could get Mew back in the day...
I was just giving marker.
Yeah. Right.
That was
either a squeaky bike or a banshee.
A bike based on how far it's moving.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was their urban legend. But of course, like the only catch Mew, you had to have been going to the movies to actually get it, or get the promotional stuff, all that jazz.
I have just one's just come into my head. Do you remember when you were younger and Coca-Cola were doing the promotion where you had to collect the labels and however many labels you had?
Yeah.
Depending on
the prize you got.
Right. This is from when I was studying. There was a similar promotion like that in America. I think it was for Pepsi though. But one of the things they put as the prize in the ad was a fighter pilot jet.
Oh,
like
yeah.
A full-on fight. And
Yes.
he brought them to court because he was supposed to get his fighter pilot jet. They gave him money alternative. And he was fighting and saying, no, I want my fighter jet. I was like,
The
judge
Bart
is like,
Simpson type situation.
Yeah.
Where's
my elephant?
Insert.
Yeah.
Picture.
But like the judge is like, a reasonable person would know that you're not going to get a fighter pilot jet. Cop on to yourself.
Then why advertise it?
Because it was a
the marketing
reasonable
ploy.
expectation. That everybody else knew, oh, I'm going to get money, or I'm going to get an equivalent, or I'm never going to get the million caps, bottle caps, or I think it might have been can
labels or ring
the
pulls.
can rings.
Yeah.
I'm never going to get the 2 or 3. I think it was an astronomically stupid number of things you had to collect in order to get it. And the judge is like, any reasonable person would know that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's the Red Bull one.
Well, what they have.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Yeah. They're blatant. Yeah.
Guinness is good for you.
Right, that was
perpetuated by the Irish
again,
Blood Society.
But that one won again. He won his case that Red Bull did not give him wings. He won a court case.
I
as
love
false
that.
advertisement. I mean, but here's the thing is, like,
I love they had to try and test the theory by like jumping off a mound or something, just falling on his face.
And that has to be different judge or jurisdiction or something, because like,
this
like,
is American.
Yeah.
This thing as Americans, it's just like, well, no, it's because you bastard. It's the consumer's important thing. Is like it has to do exactly what it says it's going to do. Otherwise, it's blatant false advertisement, and you left yourself open for a lawsuit on it.
That's why the advertising for food changed.
Yes.
You weren't allowed. So what they used to do is for, like, say, the really cold bottles of something to drink, they used to put glycerin into the water so that it would be like almost like jelly. Gelatin rather, not glycerin. And I think a bit of glycerin as well to make it shiny.
Yeah.
They used to make it up this mixture, spray it on the bottles because it would set, and they could shoot it then under the lights. But because that was fake, you weren't allowed to do it. The same with the burgers. They were all completely fake. Now they're like pinned together with like toothpicks and things like that.
And then like to melt the cheese, it's just like literally a little bit of a blowtorch.
Yeah.
For cereal and milk, so it stays on the top of the bowl.
Whoever was in charge of fucking doing the photography for like Burger King or fast food in general, they are fucking genius, because like that makes you want it.
The Marks and Spencer's ads where you're like why am I feeling like it's?
Why am I feeling hungry and turned on?
Yeah, It's like, why are you doing that to me?
This isn't just a sticky toast.
This isn't a chocolate brownie.
This isn't just
brownie.
a chocolate brownie. This is an M&S chocolate brownie. Yeah, that's right. Put your hand down your pants. Like, honest to God.
That was Amy's impression of Nigella Lawson, by the way.
The dick in The Little Mermaid in the castle.
I don't know if that's a misconception, because they did have to pull it.
Yeah, it ended. We all thought it was fake, but it ended up being true.
I thought it was true, but people were trying to say it was fake.
But those old animations do have like ones.
Whereas we thought it the other way around.
Yeah.
It's very evident and clear that is real.
And then there's like other misconceptions tied to that then with Disney, because there's like people have done like little edits. I think
Disney was frozen. Walt Disney was frozen underneath Disneyland.
Yeah, that one.
The one that actually turned out to be true. There is actually a nude woman in the Rescuers Down Under. That was very real.
There's quite a few
good teenagers take off their clothes. The SFX scene in The Lion King, that's apparently spelled out sex. It is actually SFX.
Yeah.
It's very clearly SFX, but
it looked like
the Catholic Church loves going after Disney. Which I think is very, very funny, considering he was meant to be the anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
And it's like the Catholic Church.
I was actually about to mention that, because like there was an urban legend about swastikas being like snuck into all Disney movies. Now like, half of a lot of them are purely fake, but it was because that like rumor started. You go back and try and find the original.
I think my favorite thing is like there's now a generation of people that will never actually realize that Songs of the South was a real movie.
Yeah.
Lads, Disney had a ride. That's what Splash Mountain was Songs of the South.
Yeah.
And y'all still tried to deny that it was ever a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's one of the cons, the biggest cons that like I came across, especially going to the movies.
We've gotten really serious with our misconceptions.
We have actually, yeah. This is the ones we've heard of now.
It goes back to Pokemon.
Yeah.
I knew someone was going to bring us back down to something we can relate to. Sex act.
But like
catch them all, TDs.
Someone definitely wanted to catch them all. But no.
I didn't get through.
But Pokemon the first movie, basically, I don't know if you got to see it in the movies. But,
the first movie or
yes, first movie.
Yeah.
So basically, everyone in that cinema got conned because they thought that the mini movie was the actual movie.
Oh.
And loads of us tried to fucking leave.
Yes.
Even I was the same. I was only like 9, 10 when it came out. I had previous warning about that, and the only reason I knew was because I had the CD
the soundtrack, and it describes basically some of the tracks from Pikachu's Vacation, which is the mini movie beforehand, and then the actual full soundtrack of the Pokemon movie. So if you knew the CD, you know that there was an actual like feature to the fucking to the preview. Like
this was an actual thing. Like
people
went in and they got Pikachu's Vacation.
Actually,
but they thought that it was actually the real fucking actual movie. So people.
Ash dies. Did Ash die?
Ash gets stoned,
but that's in the actual movie.
That's the only scene. That's the only thing I know of the movie. I've never actually seen the movie.
If you watch it properly,
and all I've ever seen is that's the only thing I've ever seen of that movie because I wasn't sure if it was a movie or if it was from one of the TV shows. Is when Pikachu was like basically crying over it, but not actually crying.
It still hits now, even as an adult, like that scene. But they've already like triple dipped in that idea of like, trying to kill Ash and have Pikachu bring him back.
Yeah, well they have now because they're cancelling the anime, so because he's now fun. That's why he's now officially champion because it's the end of the show, which I love. But no,
I finally did it, guys! I finally made it. What do we do now?
That's shockingly accurate.
Yeah, it actually is. They have nothing else. That's why he's champion.
No, I mean like that's shockingly accurate. The voice that you just put on. Like
she has practiced long and hard to be.
I've never done that before in my entire life.
You should do voiceover.
Yeah, there you go.
I'd be kicked out for throwing too many innuendos in.
Because the original actor is a lady.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah.
Majority of female voice actors for male characters are women. Or majority of voice actors are for Chucky Finster.
I didn't know that until
Nancy Cartwright, Tommy Pickles.
Yes.
And Chucky Finster.
Are both Bart as well.
Yeah, Nancy Cartwright, Mary J. Bourbon was Kyle. Yeah. Kyle's mom. And was like actually half the South Park cast was Mary Kay. And she also was in I think she didn't do Pokemon, she did another one. I think she did Digimon. She was one a lot of creatures in Digimon as well. But yeah, no, when you talk about misconceptions, something like tweaked in my head there. The best con on TV was Ghostwatch.
Oh yes.
Right, so I'm better off
Pipes.
Yes, Pipes the Ghost. So this is TV gold, right? I know I'm trying to. Anyway,
right, y'all didn't see my reaction, right? When he changes around, right? Obviously the couch is normally there, and as soon as I saw, I fucking knew this was the biggest problem that we were gonna have. Whoever was gonna be sitting not in my normal seat was constantly going to be leaving.
I just won't look at the camera. So, so Ghostwatch was broadcast on Halloween 1991, right? So this is around the time, so pre-internet. Yeah, BBC Primetime. Michael Parkinson.
Thank you.
The star hosted it, and it was Michael Smith was the kind of like the deputy to it. He was doing a lot of the floating, kind of like covering the phones and so forth, and his wife, who I can't remember her name offhand, but she was on.
Craig Charles was doing it as well.
Craig Charles was the wrong reporter. Yeah. And he was taking the piss through the entire thing, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember the girl's name now because she's actually quite important to the plot, and it's annoying me that.
I'll be honest with you, at this point, the names aren't going to really make sense.
She was a children's presenter. That's what she was.
But if you've ever seen or heard of the Enfield haunting,
yes,
this is what it's based on.
It's based on. So they basically do like the whole premise is that it's basically a live paranormal watch. It's what most haunted would become. But here's the thing: Ghostwatch was genuinely meant to be fiction, right? It was meant to be a pre-scripted TV show.
In the original TV guide, it also said it was a work of fiction.
Yeah, it calls it a drama.
Yeah.
Right. Now the trouble was that just purely by this all was down by coincidence. It's down to Halloween being midweek or Wednesday, Thursday, whatever it was. Radio Times is out on a Monday, so people would not have had enough time basically to read the Radio Times and know it's a drama. So when they tune into primetime BBC Two at 9 p.m. past the watershed, or it was 8 p.m. to 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. because it was a 2 hour thing, and basically 8 to 9 p.m. nothing happens. It's absolutely sweet fuck all happens. Once it hits 9:01, you see ghosts everywhere. But it was deliberate in that sense because it was obviously post watershed. But you have to know that if you're completely out of the loop and you're thinking this is real, you just think a massive seance has been unleashed on England because the show literally ends with Michael Parkinson
in the studio.
Possessed.
Yes.
The whole studio in shreds.
Everything's moving around. Yeah. Everything is losing their shit. People wrote in to the BBC over this. They made complaints over this. They demanded compensation over it. And it was like, I think one of the best ones ever I always remember this. One of the best letters that the BBC received over this was like, my husband watched it and you need to replace his pants.
Yes.
He shit himself.
So legit, right? So, but I said that the show lulls you into false sense of security really, really well, because the first hour nothing happens. But what they do is, and this is superb work for 1991, what they had done is, peppered throughout the broadcast, they showed the ghost, which was called Pipes. Right?
He lived in the pipes.
He lived in the pipes. That's what the kids call him. Right? And
he just actually makes a rattling around the pipes. And yes, we're quite scared actually about
that is
living.
genuinely really uncanny for it.
Right, scared about living in the house at the moment. I mean, with the girls and stuff, I don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah, that's actually exactly how she speaks. That is genuinely 100% spot on. It's so good, isn't it?
It's very good.
It's so good. But it's
I love me horror.
Yeah. But it's
3 points for impressions.
Absolutely, yeah. And some of them are really, really good, because when you watch back at them, she appears 7 times in the broadcast. 2 or 3 of them are before he's actually revealed. And then, because the whole idea is literally just the power of suggestion. You know, it's a case of like, I'm pretty sure I have heard of that ghost before. Because your brain has seen it in the crowd 10 minutes ago, and now you can picture him. You know, it's really well done the way it's done.
Do you know actually what's really, really good about this as well? It's because it's the whole thing of planting an idea in your head.
Yes, it's a seed.
And whatever someone else's brain.
Darren Brown does it.
Darren Brown does it all the
That's
time.
how Darren Brown pulls off all his tricks, and he's not. He actually tells you how he does it as well, which is what I love about him and Penn and Teller. It's like they tell you how they do it, and he literally was like, if you ever I got to see him in a live show, and his live show, they're so fucking theatrical.
Yeah, it's
like
all
he
showmanship.
really is so theatrical about it, because when you're going in and you're trying to figure out, because if you've seen it before, you've seen one of the specials before, you know he's something's planted, but you're trying to figure out what's planted. Have I copped it? Do I know what it is? And then you're shitting yourself. Shit, what if my thing gets pulled out?
But it's also part of the illusion.
Yeah,
is the fact that like, you're going in going, okay, what's he done?
Yeah.
And then even if you
don't
reverse
even
psychology,
realise, you're trying to catch him out so you don't get caught.
Yeah.
But you still.
You're
he's
so
going in
skeptical
knowing you're trying
about it that it's like, okay, you're super vigilant about it,
but he still
because
gets it
he's playing off that.
Exactly,
he knows
you're
you're
going to be doing it. So
and that's what's trying
but
off.
even better, it was in the Olympia Theatre as well.
Yeah.
So it just adds to it. It's like you're in small enough.
But that's the magic of the suggestion, because the production was so well done for Ghostwatch. It made people think it was a real live ghost show. It was meant to be a series. This was supposed to be the pilot. Yeah.
and
go on to do like other kind of like live broadcasts, but it got cancelled immediately because people shit themselves.
Because it had such an adverse effect on people.
Yeah.
It wasn't until 1997 that they actually brought back. I think that's when 96. I think was when Most Haunted actually came out with Beth Fielding and Derek Acorda.
Yeah. So many of them.
Yeah, but and it's literally exactly.
Derek, you've been dead a long time, mate. You ain't fucking showing your face, so bullshit.
Yeah, essentially. But like, and that's the my favorite thing about the last point on Ghostwatch is that the number they have, the hotline that comes up, is literally the number for Animal Hospital. So if anyone tries to call the line, they literally use the same number, but it literally is someone just going, "You're watching Ghostwatch. Your call's very important to us. Hold on the line," and they literally just hijacked it for a day.
A fantastic misconception for you. Rolf Harris and Jimmy Savile were good people.
That's a hell of a misconception.
If you've watched the fucking documentary on Jimmy Savile,
which ones?
There's several.
The Netflix one,
the two-parter.
My favorite thing.
Just that scene alone of seeing him with Gary Glitter, and they're exchanging messages, blatantly in front of people on the show.
Do you know my favorite thing about this is right now? Obviously not thing, but it's brilliant thing about when Netflix brought it out, Americans watching it for the first time. How do y'all not realise this guy was a pervert? And it's only when you look back and you're like, and I hate I'm saying this, it was the style at the time, and it's like that's literally. But that's because like Rolf Harris took me out with that motherfucker. I like Animal Hospital theme song. Yeah, motherfucker. Oh, what happened to poor Benji here? Oh, you probably fucked it, Rolf. That's where you're at now.
But it's the fact that like the reason why we don't notice it is because like we're around this so often.
Yeah.
So therefore,
it's
like
proximity to yeah.
Whereas like people that are outside the situation can actually look at it and be like, what the fuck? There's something wrong here.
But it goes to show you that's the idea of like the kind of the normalising behaviour, because everyone in Britain just goes, oh, it's a Jimmy Savile, he's eccentric. No, he's a nonce. Everyone else can see that. You just like
we've
blind
literally just turned a blind eye to it.
Yeah. Like yeah, it's the same way.
Like the fucking Animal Hospital theme song now stuck in my head.
I've got about misconceptions. One really good one is Brass Eye.
That's a good one. I was also going to use The Animals of Farthing Wood was a children's television program.
Oh God, no, it's not.
It's not.
It fucking isn't. No.
It's an adult show. Like, it's just masquerading as a fucking kid show.
Yeah, that's
at 6:05
because
in the morning.
it is incredibly dark.
Oh,
like,
so dark.
It's
far too
traumatizing.
dark
Yeah.
for like.
I can't go any further. No, Badger, don't say that. We just need to make it across the road. No, Molly, you go on without me.
That mongoose, I fucking hated that mongoose.
Oh, poor Badger.
I know. Like, it hit on so many levels because, like, they touched
and then
on
Watership down. What the fuck?
Oh, fucking hell.
God.
Hedgehogs. I don't have to say anything else.
There you go. Like,
I don't have to say anything else.
Amy's
Just
nearly in tears now.
Oh my god, that's emotional.
Cut to...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not cutting the Watership down.
No. Cut to, like, emotional.
I'm putting to a happy hedgehog.
I still can't listen to Bright Eyes. Fuck you, fucking
Emotional
damage. But so Brass Eye, for anyone who doesn't know, right, is one of Chris Morris's work. So he's the guy who was Renholm in IT Crowd before he jumped out of the
No, the father.
I know, yeah, he was.
He was the
but
father.
I have to do fucking Matt's entrance.
Matt
I
Berry.
have to do Matt's entrance.
Father! You know.
Are you stressed? Are you stressed? How about now? How about now? Well, you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. Are you stressed?
I'm declaring war on stress.
My dream.
I know, it's fine.
It's a laugh and a sneeze at the same time.
Snap. The lesser spot is snap.
It's a snickle.
Yeah. So Brass Eye did 6 episodes, right? And all of them was on a certain topic. There was supposed to be a piss take of the BBC show Panorama. That basically they'll pick a topic, investigate journalism, and go from there.
Look, I'm just going to cut to the chase. The paedophile episode.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Right? The paedophile episode's the best episode.
It's fantastic. But the one I will pick, we'll deal with Peter again in a minute. But the best one is drugs.
No, we won't.
Oh no! Out of the six, the best one is the drugs episode, right? Because Brass Eye literally made up a drug called cake, right? They said it was from Eastern European origins. It was basically just a big yellow tablet, right? And it was called cake. And literally they had, the whole idea of the series was to lampoon celebrities for basically saying anything to camera. That was the trouble. It was to tell everyone these celebrities are dickheads. They would literally say what they're paid for and fuck the rest of them, essentially. It was a proper hit piece on people, right? Which is why Peter Geddon is in particular a success. Because, my God, a lot of people look really bad from that one. Yeah. But with drugs, right? So they had cake. They had all these kind of like people at the time doing pieces to camera.
It's glorious.
It's fucking incredible TV. Incredible television.
I actually have it on my Fire Stick.
Yeah, it's superb. So cake got so much traction before the production of the show that it actually got a question in the House of Parliament, right? So they literally say, like, every person in the camera says cake is a made-up drug, because in their heads they're rationalizing, oh yeah, it's a man-made drug, it's synthetic. No, they're literally telling you it's fake. But they don't believe it. They don't listen to it, right? And like another one was like there was like a climate episode where they had an actual weather woman on to explain different cloud types, and all of them were fictional. She's a weather woman and she didn't know that these were fake clouds. And literally she's saying, like, it was like, she said, I'm a weather woman. Of course, this might be an issue if you have a giant tube in the sky, but who can tell if it's going to be windy that day? It's like, you're a weather woman. Listen to what you're saying. Yeah. You know, but legit, like the cake one got so much that at the end of the episode they had to issue a formal apology to the Conservative MP they lampooned. They literally pulled the rug up from under his feet, like. But Peter Geddon is even so much better than that. That's what the actual episode is called.
Is that the actual name?
That's the actual name.
It's called Peter Geddon. Yeah.
Peter Geddon.
Yeah, and hilarious enough, that was the Christmas special.
2 points for that.
Yeah. And now, so legit, they start off with absolute, because again, it's taking the piss out of the media panic over, as if paedophiles have just been discovered, in a kind of way, like it's like a zombie onslaught or something.
It's as if it's a brand new disease.
Yeah, and that's exactly it.
It's very well done though.
Yeah,
like for a satirical TV show.
Yes,
it's so well
done. Did something like that happen with World War Z or something along those lines when it was read over the radio?
World
Worlds, Orson Welles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like caused panic.
Massive panic,
massive issue. The Simpsons actually did a joke episode on it. I have a misconception that it's a very real misconception, and it's technically in kind of two parts. Okay. So I'm going to do the first one is that America is a land of opportunity.
That is the biggest misconception,
right? Mm-hmm. But another thing as well is that people seem to have is it's going to be better if you leave your home country to go anywhere else in the world. That I think that's the biggest misconception. I think it's especially in the times now when you're looking. I'm just using kind of like the kind of climate change as kind of an example on this. Is when you actually realise that absolutely no government. No, actually, COVID is a good example of this.
Yeah.
No government in the world actually knows what they're doing. So yeah, well, we have a shit government. So have the US, so have France, so have Germany, everywhere.
Every country has its
There's
issues.
no such thing as greener grass, and I think that's the biggest misconception people have is that, and that's actually the misconception, which is kind of leading me into my point, is that the grass is going to be greener on a different side, not the other side, a different side. Yeah. So if you were to tell a woman your life isn't fulfilled unless you have children, that's a massive misconception.
Yes,
you don't have a family unless you have children. No, that's a lot. Friends can be a family. Yeah. Alright, a couple living together as a family. Someone who just has fucking pets or houseplants, that is their family. Yeah. That is a massive misconception. And I think it's really kind of thrown onto women in a sense, is that you are not fully completed in your life unless you've birthed someone else out of you. Yeah, and that is so like that. I think because that for a long time fucked me over to the extent I think that's where my anxiety kind of stems from.
Because there's a lot of pressure on you there.
There's so much pressure put on girls. There's so much pressure. Like I have 2 older brothers. Yeah. And yet I was constantly from you need to find someone so you can have kids. Yeah. I was like, why am I responsible? Well, they're not even going to keep our fucking name. I'm not keeping the family line going. I'm going to be marrying someone else if I did get married. And it's someone else's family I'm carrying on. I'm not carrying on my own at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah. Talk to Pablo. Talk to Diego.
Like, whoa, don't real name your brothers on the channel. Holy shit!
That's the thing. That's where my massive issue was, is that the responsibility for grandchildren and for taking care of everyone was always going to fall onto the daughter. Yeah. Bitch, Yvonne, what if you only had sons? Straight, you'd be in a home now, bitch. Not your own.
But that was a very that's a Catholic Church mindset. That is like the church saying, right, you need to do this, A, B, C, D, doctrinate and all that. Oh, by the way, we take one of your daughters to be a nun.
But hold on a second.
That was reality of it.
Look at Islam.
Yeah.
You don't have any rights.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Until you take a husband, and even then you're not going to have that many.
Yeah.
And you're literally, it's like it's
you're
just
your husband's property.
Yeah, that's the thing is, it's like this whole thing of misconception. It was like, just I'm so sorry for bringing it real, but it's just kind of like women are going to be the fault of their own downfall. They're also the fault of a man's downfall if they haven't done their job right. It's their responsibility to make sure that everyone stays alive, but it's also their fault if someone bad does this sort of thing. Like literally every single issue that men, not you men, but as a generalization that seems to stem, everyone just kind of turns back and goes, it's the women's fault.
What was she wearing?
Yeah. It's like, why is everything our fault? Okay.
What did she do?
Yeah. You'd never turn around to a bloke and just be like, how much did he drink that night? What was he wearing? Why did he walk out by himself? How was he stupid enough not to have his phone fully charged? He walked through the field. Why would he do that? That was a stupid thing. Like, you never hear that about blokes.
Yeah.
It's always a woman's fault. And I think I think the misconception really on that one is that men think that they're, I think the misconception is that women actually are equal now at this point in time, when realistically we're not. Yeah. Everything is still going to be our fault, whether it is or it isn't.
It just takes different forms because it is still people gripping for that one advantage.
But this is where it kind of leads into like kind of your government sort of sense, is that like, well, we know what we're doing. No, you don't, because you are all older and out of touch with the reality of the world.
Would I be wrong in saying that like there are women out there who think that they could do a better job on certain things, when realistically the job that they're going for, nobody can do right?
See, this is kind of where it goes to government. You can have a job in government and you can think you've done every single thing correct. You've not, because no matter what, you're going to have opposition, because someone is always going, whether they agree with it or not, you're always going to have an opposition. My issue with it is to turn around and say, it's your fault that happened to you. Yeah. That's what my issue is. It's like to turn around and say, well, you're at fault for your own downfall, when realistically it could have been a 3-year-old girl wearing dungarees. How is she at fault? sort of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's what it kind of always comes down to. It's kind of like, it's shifting the blame to the victim because they don't want to take the responsibility that they raised them.
Boys will be boys.
Yeah.
What the
Very
fuck is
attitude.
that?
That's a massive
What the
misconception.
fuck is
That's
that?
a big-
fucking came
Do you know
out.
what boys will be boys means? Boys will be boys is someone is going to knick-knack on your door and run away giggling. That's boys will be boys.
Yeah.
Okay.
They go boobs. That's boys.
I do that.
Yeah.
But like, that's what I mean.
2 points.
2 points.
But that's
Two each.
But that's what I mean. Like that's where, like, I think that's kind of like the misconception is that, like, I think that women have is like, oh my god, we're finally being seen as equals.
No.
Well, there is the concept of the glass floor, because you have the glass ceiling, and you have the glass.
Mm.
Yeah, you have the glass ceiling, then you have a glass floor. This is where, like, putting a woman.
If a woman tries to break through the glass ceiling, you're out of line, you're out of your place, and you're far too emotional.
Yeah.
Where if a man does it, oh, look at him go, that's a go-getter.
Yeah.
He's determined.
You're bitch.
Yeah.
That's
Wait,
why.
also, actually, I have a question
That's
for
why
you.
boss bitch came about, because
I'm
girls are like, we're taking back that.
Genuinely curious. When I need to know how you did this. Okay, how did men convince the world that anger is not an emotion? How did you do it? How did men convince the world that anger is not an emotion? Because women are seen as the more emotional sex, whereas men will get angry at the drop of a hat.
Because
your sports team loses, you're pissed for days.
This is a trick question.
Because men have absolutely no emotional intelligence.
So why the fuck do you get to comment on women's?
We don't. Well, we should. No, sorry.
Don't.
We don't. No, sorry, not don't. Shouldn't. That's a key word. That's a key word. We shouldn't.
I just want to know who the fuck yous went to. Men as a general species.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did you manage to get anger is not an emotional response, but it is when women are angry?
I think actually, who was it that said this very well? I think it was Robert Webb, actually. And again, this ties into misconceptions. Was that
David Mitchell?
Yeah. Yeah, Robert Webb, right? So he wrote a book, actually, right, about this. Because he realised he had a lot of anger management issues, and it comes down to basically his upbringing and so forth. But he made the point, essentially, is that men are designed and trained to think and behave in certain ways, right? It is a pattern. It's a way we get it from our fathers and trickles down and so forth.
I'll just cut you off. That is actually probably one of my toxic traits.
Yeah,
I'm so attracted. I hate myself for it.
But here's the thing: like, so everything has an origin point. Everything has a source. And what he says is that, like, men do not get that same emotional maturity that they should do. So every emotion that they should have gets channeled and transformed into anger, which is why a lot of them do have anger management issues, frustrations with internally and externally and so forth. So it does have a source point. That's not an excuse for how people behave, but that's an identifying factor.
I will actually say this though. I think I can actually count on one hand the amount of men that I have actually again, I'm making it as a generalization. However, I can probably count on one hand the amount of men I've come into contact with who do generally have these types of issues.
Yeah.
So it is a minority. It's not a majority. It is a minority sort of situation.
But you only hear the minority. That's always the trouble.
But see, here's the thing is, it's a majority of women who are attacked.
Yes. And that's where it's not fair.
And that's where it kind of comes to, where it's like, well, there's a majority of women being attacked by this minority of men, and yet it's the majority of women that are at fault.
Yeah.
Like,
and then leading into that is that going to therapy is a weakness.
Yeah,
it's
not.
Actually, very good.
That's
point.
a huge misconception.
It's like, for men, it's a weakness for men to go to therapy, but when women go to therapy, I told you she was trouble.
I know for a certain fact that I would have.
I told you she had issues.
Yeah.
Like, for men, like, going to therapy seems to be just like, it's an admission of weakness.
That's exactly what it is.
And it's really fucking, like, it's not. It's actually, like,
you're working on yourself.
Yeah.
Someone has
if anything, it's probably the greatest strength that you have is you're actually admitting, I need help.
Yeah.
I need help.
I don't have the answers.
Yeah. Like, and that's the way it is. Some people, like, basically suffer. A lot of people suffer in silence, or they fucking, they may know that they need help, but they still don't go to therapy. And like, just to get an outside perspective, like someone who's not tied to it, that just understands, like, right, I need to listen and maybe give the right guidance to just help them.
That's another thing as well, though, because I mean, I hate to say it, but like, I know therapy's not actually a massive, accessible thing to. I mean, you're stuck on a waiting list for possibly years, sort of thing, right? So it's not
money to pay for.
Exactly, and even then, you're still waiting a couple of months.
And who's to say that, like, if you finally do get a therapist, Why not?
It might
get on with.
Like
I may not be a match.
I'll be honest with you. I think I went through 4 therapists before I found one that actually I was like, I feel comfortable talking to you.
Yeah.
And it was a bloke as well. Actually, I was constantly looking for a female therapist because I didn't think I'd be comfortable talking to a man. And I think that's more along the lines is because men are kind of the cause of my problem, so I don't want one talking to his mates about me. Like that's it. I was young enough that that's what I thought was going to happen. And I was like, but because I couldn't click with a woman because I realised I don't know if she's actually going to give me an honest opinion or if she's just going to agree in a sense of I'm going to humour you on
just
this.
Be sympathetic.
Then I found a male therapist and dude, oh fuck me, he brought out issues that I didn't even realise I had, and I was like, okay, granted, I've not really worked hard on those issues that I had. Some of them,
whereas
the soldier boy concept, I'm stuck with them.
Yeah,
and
but you were aware of it though.
I've made
aware of it, and that's a big key part.
I've made my peace with some aspects of it, but the thing is, if I was in a situation like, if that's a real person in front of me, oh my god, I'm running away. I'm not running towards him. Yeah. That's where I think I remember saying that to the therapist, like, oh my god. He was like, how was your Friday night sort of thing, and I was explaining about this particular gentleman that I'd met, and he was like, and what did you do? And I was like, I took my drink and I walked away, and he was like, I'm so proud of you. Like to hear like him be like, you saw the red flags there, you knew it wasn't the right thing to do, and you walked away, and I'm like, yeah. And he goes, you please don't tell me you walked back. No, I didn't. I finished my drink, got a taxi, and went home. Because I knew if I stayed out, I'd make a bad decision. But it's like, he was more, he goes, okay, it's not something that's ever going to go away from you, but you've accepted it, and I'm proud of you. And I'm like, oh, that's where my praise king came from.
Whereas like me, I'd be kind of in the opposite.
Oh my god, I just had a moment. Ding! Achievement unlocked.
Yeah. I think.
Oh man.
I think I would be in the opposite kind of like spectrum where like I would have no problem with talking to a woman about my problems for the simple fact that like if I was to talk to a guy, they'd be a bit more like, you're fine, this and this.
It depends on what you actually need as well for what you're talking about. And again, like, we can kind of talk about the misconceptions of maintaining mental health as well, because there's quite a few of them. You know.
But it's the fact that like then if I was to go to a female like therapist, like they would be the ones there to be able to give you that like sympathetic like ear, but at the same time they'll be able to ask you the questions that you may not wanted to hear.
Yes.
That's the thing as well, is about women. Women are very upfront. They will get to the point on it. I know. Guys
can be, but they're very
sometimes they won't want it. Yeah. The only thing is, like, with a therapist, in a sense, they shouldn't be able to do that. But it's just kind of like, okay, I don't want to make them uncomfortable for a session sort of thing. And then you're kind of like, you get stuck in that kind of not happy. You get stuck in that routine of it. That they kind it does go questions like, okay, we're going to avoid this issue until it gets to a right point where I can bring it up. And even then, if a male brings it up to a male, chances are I'm never going to see that person again. And it's not because I don't want to talk about it, it's because shit, he knows I'm embarrassed, I don't want to go back to him.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what it is. Whereas with women, it's like, okay, women are, and I think this is, I'm not saying this as a fact, I'm saying this is what my rationale would be of thinking, women are so much softer that I don't mind if she asks me the question, because I think I could speak to her about it, because she's not going to judge me on it. Because she's probably had it happen to her too. And that's kind of like a sense of point I've gone into. Whereas with women therapists is when I was speaking to a woman therapist, I think the first one I had is, now I know why she was doing it now, but she would constantly say, oh well, I had a similar thing, and she'd constantly put herself into the situation, and it annoyed me in a sense, because I'm like, bitch, I'm here to talk about me.
This is my therapy session.
It's like, I don't want. Now, when I look back at it now, I realise she was literally trying to prove the point that it's not just you.
Yes.
But I didn't get that at the time, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this fucking bitch is just trying to turn this shit around and make it about her.
I think sometimes it's actually like, it actually works out better to have the opposite sex be the one to actually listen. And
do you know what it is? It's because it's actually healing a wound that you didn't realize was actually there. It's like because men are the cause of most of these issues, yet a man is going to be the one to help, not help fix them in a sense, sort of thing. It's like I didn't need a therapist to point out to me that I was attracted to a toxic personality, because it's pretty to look at, and it gives you an idea. It's like, oh my god, I can be the one to change it. No, you can't. No one can change that person.
Yeah.
Only that person can change themselves, and that's if they're willing to put in the effort. It's the point is, I'm now at a point in my life where I finally have accepted that fact, and it literally took a male therapist being on, why are you being a stupid bitch? Exact words, why are you being a stupid bitch? It's like, and I was taken back by him being saying, he goes, Amy, this is the road that we're going down. You literally want me to treat you like shit. Because that's what you're telling me that you want most people. I'm like, that's not what I want. And he goes, yeah, when I told you you were a stupid bitch, you perked up more. You started listening to me more. And he goes, so no, it is, that's what the issue is, and we need to find out why you have this issue. And I was fixed, particularly for that issue.
Yeah.
Let's get back to funny misconceptions, because we got really serious.
That was a very real talk. That's about as real as this show ever gets.
I'm disgusted at how real we got, but I'm also still a little bit proud that we managed to have a few sex jokes. There we go. We're back in the room.
We're back in the room, yeah.
One of my favourite misconceptions, I think, though, of all time, Santa Claus.
That's the big one, isn't it?
Fat man going around one night
delivering
Easter bunny. That bull.
He has to be magical.
Do you know what my mum and dad
to
said?
be able to go around the whole world.
Do you know what my mum and dad used to say? Time zones, Amy. Why do you think the world has different time zones? Because every time he flies somewhere else, he's in a different time zone. So it's
he's flying counterclockwise as well.
I was legit like, oh my god, it makes perfect sense. And then as you're older, you're like, wow, I believe anything.
My mum and dad were just like, magic.
Magic.
Yeah, it was always magic.
We don't understand, but it's magic.
He has to be magical to be able to, like, okay, not only get into your house, but also to be able to get around.
It was magic. I was like, no, he won't, because we didn't have a chimney. No, we leave the door unlocked.
It's like,
you leave your door unlocked.
No, because, like, I was told, like, okay. Because I spent 1 or 2 Christmases in a relative's house.
Yeah.
Like, and be like, but, like, Santa won't know, like, we're home. It's like, no, he knows, like,
he knows.
He's magic. He knows that you're not gonna be in. It's like,
we were the same when
like it just doesn't dawn on
and at that point I knew that there was no Santa Claus.
I'm raging I never got the magic bullshit. I was told how to get around one night, Amy, that's why there's different time zones in the world.
It's
literally
for
Santa.
For Santa mean time.
If we were staying at someone else's house, it's like, what about all our presents? He goes, he's gonna leave them under our Christmas tree so they're there when you go home.
Yeah.
It's a fucking trip, like, to be told that, and it's like, but like it's like Santa's like not gonna know, like, I'm not gonna have any presents, like, I'm here, like it. No, he fucking. Sorry, I'm reflecting my actual childhood. My real childhood showed up.
That's it is quite literally kayfabe. That's the hilarious part.
It's okay. Fat man in the red
this
suit
episode
can't
just
hurt you.
become therapy for everyone?
Why don't they like me?
Because you're a little bitch.
10 points. There you go.
Hey!
To feed into the fucking bad boy image. It's like being talked shit about. Just like, there you go. Ooh, that perked up.
Why don't you like me? You're a fucking pussy.
Tell me more.
Enable. Tell me more. Did she put up a fight?
That's the biggest misconception that Grease is a family movie. That's a misconception right there. Grease is not a family movie.
A theory is that she actually died.
Not even that. Listen to the songs for Grease. Like, also, did she put up a fight? Hey, Danny, did you sexy assault that girl you apparently saved while drowning in the ocean? I don't know, Kaniki. How about if I continue this in song and I'll tell you?
Would you mind if we just switch the song? It's better if I
Grease Lightning. It's a real pussy wagon. Is it Danny Zuko? Is it a real pussy wagon? I don't know where you think you're going with that red arc. Kaniki. Also, y'all, you were all 35. Okay, you were all 30-year-olds. Okay, where's your? The only one that actually passed for a teenager in that was Putsy. No, not Putsy. Kaniki.
The one that was
the blonde one.
The one that appeared in the sequel.
That was Frenchie.
Yeah.
Simply because, like, they were actually still young enough they could actually.
The best thing about that one is the actual reasoning behind why she was still in high school for the sequels, because she dropped out of beauty school, which means she didn't have enough credits to graduate, so she had to redo her final year.
Oh, that was the reason.
That was the legitimate reason.
I was
like,
wondering
that's
because,
actually
like,
genius. That's actually a
because I was
genius
still a
reason to
kid
bring
when
it
I
up.
fucking watched that, so
Yeah.
I was like,
Here's actually one for you, right, to wrap up this episode. Movie misconceptions. What's some good ones we all know?
I gave mine one for the Hollywood with the disfigurements.
What's some good ones actually? Because I'm trying to think.
That Tom Cruise is actually a good actor.
Yeah, in fairness.
That's a massive movie misconception.
A lot of this.
Tom Cruise actually has more flops than he has.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Anything. So I think.
Did you put Travolta in that category as well? Because he's done some
Travolta?
stinkers.
I'm gonna put Scientology into that one.
Yeah.
Movie misconceptions. Okay. Movie
Jack could have fit on that draft.
He could have actually if they just put the life jackets underneath it.
Yes.
Biggest movie misconception.
Or she moved.
However, no, even though they still have to have buoyancy under it. That's the whole point of it. Biggest movie misconception is when your hero or your villain or whoever it is punches in a window.
Oh, that's a good one.
And there's nothing happens to him, right? And I'm going to give it to the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe. They're in this movie. They play like two kind of PI type detectives type thing. And it actually happens. So Ryan Gosling's character punches in a window. And as normal, it cuts him.
Yeah.
And he continues to lose an insane amount of blood. He's in an ambulance, Brian. That's actually what would happen. This movie misconception of if I'm going to punch in something, I'm not going to have an injury with me, and I think that's ridiculous. Now, granted, I understand it's for the story sort of thing, but it's probably one of the biggest misconceptions that they have. It's literally just to keep the story going. It's like, if I punch your glass,
Just even shattering glass generally, it's just like
it's not that fucking easy. I've tried.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
And the fact that like you always get the kind of the cool shot of like
the guy
landing
gets the
and the glass showers down. It's like that is fucking sharp.
Yeah, that shit's gonna hurt.
That's gonna
like,
hurt.
You're looking
fall like sugar,
in the Dark Knight. It actually happens in Batman and Robin.
That's
when
what
Batman comes down the ceiling, he goes down. Obviously, no matter but when he goes down, but the ceiling shatters in this. Everyone looks up. Bitches, y'all been ducking for cover.
Yeah, they all be fucking
sharp glass,
up.
and it's coming at such a velocity with someone coming through it. That's gonna embed into you. That's gonna sit like that. Action movies is a massive misconception. Tom Cruise as a good actor is a big misconception.
Not looking at as a fucking explosions. It's like you're gonna
cool
react.
Guys,
cool explosions guys. Generally.
Cool.
You're gonna react.
Walking away from explosions, and no one being in a room full of firefights.
Yes.
Of having a gunfight with somebody.
And blinking. Not
even that. I'm not even gonna give you that one. It's the fact is that straight afterwards, everyone is talking at a normal volume. Have you ever heard a fucking gunshot on a? Especially they are loud. Your ears would be ringing. Yeah. You would not be able to have a normal. You'd be shouting at each other.
So explosions are a very good one there because
people just walking away from it. What the fuck?
Yeah, like
no. What the fuck?
But that's the actual the heat overall is something that explosions get wrong in movies because to kind of explain it, explosions you kind of almost treat like it's a liquid, right? Because it pushes in a certain way. So if you're in a confined space,
how much?
25 more minutes.
Okay. So if you consider explosion like liquid, right? So if you're in a confined space and you see the flames licking up and all that sort of stuff, it doesn't.
That there's a message from the courier team that the driver would be late and that the new delivery time they have for it is 7:26.
Okay.
Why do I keep doing that? I keep sitting on my foot, man. And it's gonna get caught and I'm gonna break the foot.
Don't do that. Yeah. So yeah, explosions always been wrong in movies is a good one because again you don't really have a lot of real life examples. You're just kind of assuming, okay, like you have this flowing this way, you have someone going to be like blown away by the force, just by a random, but it doesn't always work out that way. And some movies very clearly get it wrong, and to the point where that person actually wouldn't survive that at all.
I have one as well. Why is every single ghost from the Victorian England? I want a
movie. A good one.
I want a movie. I want a movie.
The Lady in White.
I want
premise,
a movie of a haunted house with a ghost from 2003 screaming,
"It's
Britney, bitch!" and then just running off. I want that. I'm sick of having
that bitch Carol Baskins killing her husband.
I'm sick.
He's right here. Look.
I'm sick to death of constantly. It's like apparently ghosts stopped being a thing after the 1900s.
They were
5 points for Carol Baskins.
Yeah, they were literally invented in the Victorian era.
I was like, it's like okay, so it's like we have ghosts. Ghosts are a thing, but you never come across a ghost from after
the 80s or 90s or something.
I was like,
one exception.
Ghost.
Yeah, Patrick Swayze.
Oh, that's the only reason why he literally hung around there though was to keep her safe. He wasn't haunting her.
Yeah, if we're talking about traditional hauntings.
Okay.
Yeah,
like a traditional haunting in a sense is literally oh, why do you have to be caught in the fucking chains? Why are you wearing such a high collar? You bitch, you were born in 2000. Like, why are you fucking died during a TikTok shit. You shouldn't look like that.
That's actually the misconception. It's like, okay, so what happens when you do die? You actually do get a Victorian uniform because now your job is now
like,
ghost.
is it the uniform?
Yeah, I think it is.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's like maybe it's like a ghost uniform. It's like, okay, you also have to learn Old English. Why? It's people like the dramatics of it all.
It's part of the illusion. It's part
Alright,
of the
I failed English in school, but okay.
Oh, but it's okay. You've got time. You've got plenty of time. Literally, the rest of existence.
You literally have now until God decides to just pull the plug.
The heat, death of the universe. Yeah.
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 That just frustrates the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Armor.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Women's armor.
What armor?
Exactly.
Exactly.
The misconception is that it exists.
That's another thing for games as well. It's like, what is this about women being able to run or... Sorry, lads. There's nowhere to put my gun and or knife if I'm literally just running around in a pair of like booty shorts and a tank top. I'm like... No.
The Lara Croft issue, like, yeah.
At least with Lara Croft, she actually had like a holster and she had a tie holster.
But that's what I mean. Like, she was actually quite well designed.
And she used a bow and arrow.
Yes.
And then contrast the Amazonians in Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
The first one, which was directed by a woman, where they had full armor, they covered their midsection, etc. To the second Wonder Woman, where it was literally brown panties, metal brown panties.
I'm gonna give that to the male comic book creators. So I will never rip into a comic book movie over their depiction of someone, purely because
he
they're
had the choice to
they're
keep
going
the
by
style of the first.
But
one.
That's true actually. But like it's because if someone's gonna go by source material, I'm gonna have issue with source material.
Yes.
That is a really good point for the second movie.
Yes, but in general, I agree with you about the comic book writers. But in that particular instance, I have a question mark with the director on that one.
Yeah. So that's what happens when they try to make their own.
Yeah.
Or there was one particular thing I had it in my head, now it's fucking gone. I think it's kind of like the depiction of relationships in movies. The only true relationship depiction I think I've ever seen in a movie was the breakup with Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston. And it's literally it's literally the entire relationship just imploding. Because they get together at the start of the movie, and then it's just them going through it, and you actually see a real life relationship of neither one of them wanting to change each other for the better because they think they're fine the way they are, and it's just a fantastic imploding, and then Vince Vaughn changes because she left him. That's the only reason why he changed. He's like, shit, I actually better fucking sort myself out, and they don't get back together in the end. It's beautiful. It's true.
Real. I think that causes a lot of the problems of like fairy tale idealistic relationships and then people's relationships imploding because it doesn't fit the standard.
Hence why my misconception of women shouldn't be happy unless they have kids. That's the end.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Hollywood.
Yeah, the epilogue of tons of movies is like, and they had a family in the end. It's like, what the fuck? Like,
you don't have to have.
You don't have to. It's not.
I want to see a movie where they get together, they get a shit ton of houseplants and maybe a cat.
I was the same.
Somebody actually put up on Twitter. She's like, I want the rom-com in reverse, where the relationship implodes and she goes off and finds herself and gets the law job and wears the pencil skirt and the shoes.
No, it's the Hallmark movie in reverse.
Yes.
That one. I want the Hallmark movie in reverse.
Yeah.
Where she leaves the small town.
Yeah.
Sure, she leaves her small town boyfriend, gets a really good job, and then marries it, and then gets together with the high paid lawyer. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm into that.
Yeah.
Like, why isn't that an option?
Because like realistically, like
because you should want you shouldn't want the accolades apparently. You should want the simple life. Which actually realistically, I do want a simple life. I really do want the simple life. However,
but it's your simple life. It's
however, I'm complicated enough as fuck as that. I'm gonna fuck that shit up anyway. So you may as well just keep it fucked up.
Like the fact that like if some people break up and then you go off and actually have personal growth. But if you were to get back with that person, you would revert back to your old ways.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Oh, completely.
So it's just that's kind of fucking redundant. Like you've just like pissed all over like maybe a couple of years of like actual like personal growth.
You've done it.
So fucking move on.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Foxy, I gotta give it to you. Misconceptions was a really fucking good finally on the record.
Yeah.
Well done. We are never gonna beat this episode.
You can say it was a misconception thinking it wouldn't work.
No, I didn't think it wouldn't work.
Yeah. So there you go.
No, a misconception would be if I...
Oh, right, yeah. Sorry.
She believed it.
I knew it would work.
Yes.
Yeah. Good job. We're not going to top it.
We're not.
No.
This is the last episode of Fun.
So we're finally going off the record. You gotta pick your winner.
You do, yeah.
It seems that like everyone has actually like given up like good points during
Finally!
the whole thing.
Yay!
I think that's the first time I've ever scored points.
Oh, I was like,
what? You have absolutely score points. Believe me.
yeah, no, you definitely.
I think I got a 50 point for like a song.
You did not get a point.
I gave you.
No,
I
you did not.
definitely gave you
points
150
from me.
points.
That's for sure.
Yes, you have definitely scored points on this show. I assure you.
You fucking have.
Okay.
Yes.
Remember, you were sending me the pictures.
Oh yes, that's why.
Yeah.
So that was
Although to be fair, that was only worth like 50 points. You did get 100 for actually bringing something to the table as well.
Cool.
Yes, definitely.
Points don't really matter in this show. But she feels validated, so that's all that matters.
Yes.
Probably a misconception that you've eaten into on that one.
Everyone did great in this episode.
Welcome to Whose Line Is It Anyway, where points don't matter.
I do love that show.
But
Who's our winner?
our winner is Amy.
She's very happy about this.
No, but Amy had like more stories,
Yeah.
more points to give, and also
A
like,
lot of aggression to get out.
yeah.
And you worked through some stuff with us today, which I want to
I want to point it out. I'm actually more proud of the fact that I didn't actually hit Jonathan during that.
But think of it like
Hang on, the video isn't over yet.
Growth.
think of it. This channel has always been birthed on the fact that like this is just like free therapy for all of us, like in some form or fashion.
And hopefully for users at home as well, to be fair.
But hopefully it is for yourselves as well.
What's your misconceptions?
Yes. Let us know in the comments.
Yes.
Also, like, subscribe. If you have suggestions for us, please let us know. And maybe we might do it in the future.
I think I already know what mine was going to be.
And with that note, like, this has been Finally on the Record. I've been your host, Foxy. And that's been the rest of the Nerds Are Us. And we will see you again in the next one. So, peace out!